Hey, Shamo Cougars. This is Mrs. Denny, and I wanted to take a moment to talk to you guys about tips and strategies for improving your grades. So, we are definitely more than halfway through this semester. This semester is going to end December 17th. So, you have about like a month and a half from this point on to bring up your grades. So, remember that we have a week off for Thanksgiving. And when we come back from Thanksgiving break, pretty much going to be slowing down to finish out this semester. So it's really important that you start now doing what you need to do to bring up your grades. And I know some of your grades have taken a dip. It's been, kind of an interesting semester being back in person and getting used to all that. But you definitely have the resources and the time to bring up your grades. So stay on track. These are general things that you can do at this point to bring up your grades. So, number one, check your grades at least once per week. Every single one of you should be able to access your ARI student portal to check your grades. If you still cannot access it or you're having issues with it, come see your counselor or go to the library to get help to log in. But check your grades at least once per week so you know where you're at. Two, use your planner to keep track of your homework, projects, and upcoming tests. We gave you guys that planner for free so that you could use it to keep yourself organized and on top of what's going on. Remember, you have 6 classes where you could potentially be getting homework every day, even. And you're not going to remember unless you write it down in your planner. So stay organized. Number three, turn in your homework on time. Some of your teachers do not accept late work, or if they do, it's not for the full amount of points. Of course, some points is better than no points, but what's better is all your points, right? So turn in your homework on time. Four, turn in missed assignments and retake tests. If you check your ARIES portal and you see that you've missed some assignments, talk to your teacher about turning it in. Don't let them go just missed assignments. And then talk to your teacher about coming in before school, at lunch, or after school to retake tests, especially for math. Five, create a study plan. This is super important that you create a plan for yourself for every day of the week of what you're going to tackle and what you're going to accomplish. And then six, get tutoring, get help. If you don't understand, if you're lost, get tutoring. Your teachers offer tutoring after school. You can sign up for Prime Time. They have built-in tutoring every day. And also Paper is the online tutoring service that's free for all students. So please, please, please ask questions and get help. Final grades. You are going to receive your final semester grades in December, on December 17th, before we go on winter break, and in May at the end of the school year. These are the grades that are going to go on your transcript, and these grades do not change. Once your teachers post your final semester grades, they do not change anymore. You cannot submit extra credit. You cannot submit late work to change those grades. They're done. And these are the grades that we use to see how you're doing towards promotion. All right, so it's super important that right now you make that push to bring up all your grades so that you are not failing any grades in December when your teachers post your final semester grades. Let's take a look at language arts. If you need to bring up your grade in your language arts class, you need to use your time wisely when given independent work time. So don't sit there and browse the internet, talk to your friends, put headphones on, which you're not supposed to have in class anyway, to listen to music. You need to use that time wisely to work on any projects or assignments that you have. Prioritize your assignments. Be aware of categories and weighted grades. So, of course, if you're missing a ton of assignments, focus on the ones that are worth the most points because that will help your grade come up the fastest. And understand your teacher's late work procedures. So, talk to your teacher, ask them which of your missing assignments you can still turn in for credit. Okay. Let's talk math. I know math is a really hard subject for a lot of you, but it's a really important subject that you learn and then you pass the class because it really is going to affect you when you get to high school. So, the best and most effective way to bring up your grade in math is to make up your test. Tests are worth 70% of your grade. So, if you fail a test, it has a huge impact on your grade. So, talk to your teacher to schedule a time for you to come in before school, during lunch, or after school to make up tests. Science. That science notebook is huge for your grade. If you get zeros on a couple of your notebook assignments, your notebook checks, those are worth 190 to 200 points. It's like a bomb going off on your grade. So make sure you come before or after school to make up your science notebook assignments. Your science teachers do prefer that you come in during their tutoring hours, but talk to them about when you can come in. Then also talk to your science teacher about extra credit assignments, because that will also help bring up your science grade. History. History. You need to communicate with your history teacher and take accountability for your missing assignments. You need to know your teacher's late policy. They all have a little bit of a different policy in regards to late work. Some of them don't accept it. And if they do, you need to know how long after the due date they will accept it and how many points will be deducted for turning in late work. You should check your Aries for missing assignments on a daily basis. The sooner you turn in late work, the better. If you see a red missing box, it usually means you can still turn in that assignment. Check your Google Classroom to-do page and make sure you have submitted all your assignments. If you need help, send your teacher a private Google comment or email. And if you need extra tutoring, your teachers are available after school, or they will even virtually meet with you through a Google Meet. So please reach out to your history teacher if you're having difficulty with your grade in that class. PE, come on, y'all. You need to be passing PE. So dress out every day for class, participate, and talk to your PE teacher about extra credit assignments. Your elective class. Each class is different, so you really need to make sure you talk to your teacher about what you need to do to bring up your grade in that class. Generally speaking, in your elective classes, you need to turn in your projects on time, turn them in, make up any missing assignments or projects. Participation in class is super important. Come in after school or before school to get help. And the most important thing you need to do is talk to your teacher about what to do to bring up your grade.
Hi everyone, in this video I would like to share 10 study tips that I have used during my years at school that kept me organized and helped me to get good grades. Tip number 1 is to organize your study area. Before you even sit down to study, you have to make sure you get everything you need in one place so you don't have an excuse to stand up and walk around searching for it. Don't forget the snacks and the water. Tip number 2. Keep a schedule. Get a large calendar and write down due dates of all your tests, exams, assignments, and papers. Some people prefer to put notifications in their phone, but I find that having an actual paper calendar in front of your eyes gives you a better sense of time. Place a calendar somewhere near your study place, that way you're constantly aware what is due when and for which subject. You can also get creative and use stickers to remind you about upcoming deadlines. Tip number 3. Make a study goal. Before you sit down to study, write down what you want to accomplish during the study session. Be specific. By doing that, you're setting a goal for yourself. Setting a goal is very important, as subconsciously you would feel that once you reach your study goal, you can take a break and reward yourself. If you do not have a study plan, you might feel overwhelmed by the amount of material you have to go through. A study goal will help you to feel organized and keep track of time. Tip number 4. Read the textbook. Seems obvious, but so many people rely just on their lecture notes and skip the textbook entirely. Throughout the years of studying, I found that the most effective way to read the textbook goes like this. First, just read the chapter like you would a novel. Do not try to understand the material, nor take any notes. Once you do that, come back to the chapter, but this time read it much slower, take notes, and try to understand the material. And remember, no matter how good your lecture notes are, the textbook will always have more information. Tip number 5. Make flashcards. Okay, so this tip is self-explanatory. For classes that require a lot of memorization, prepare a stack of flashcards and carry them with you. Every time you have a free minute, review them. It is simple, but it does help to remember the material. Tip number 6. Use Pomodoro technique. Study for 25 minutes and take 5-minute breaks. Every third break, take up to 20 minutes. You can set a stopwatch on your phone to keep track of time. Tip number 7. Reward yourself. Every time you reach your study goal, reward yourself with something small but enjoyable. A piece of chocolate, a bubble bath, or your favorite TV show. Decide on your reward before you sit down to study so you have something to look forward to. Tip number 8. Turn off your computer. Now, obviously, it is not always possible to study without a computer, but when it is, turn it off. Without the temptation of internet, you would concentrate so much more on the subject that you're studying. Tip number 9 is to switch it up. Be creative. You don't always have to study at your desk. For example, you can go over your lecture notes while taking a bubble bath. Just put your notes in a clear folder so they don't get wet. Tip number 10. Remember the big picture. There are many reasons why you would want to get a good grade. It's either to get into an Ivy League school or get a scholarship. Whatever your reasons are, write them down on a piece of paper and keep them within your eyesight. When you're feeling discouraged, unmotivated, and tired, it would help you to remember why you're still studying at 2 a.m. in the morning or why you're at home cracking math problems. Remember, always keep the end goal in mind. This is it for my tips. Thank you for watching.
I hope that you got some really good ideas from that video. I really liked how she talked about setting a goal to remind yourself why you're studying, why you're working on bringing up your grades. What's your goal? So maybe you should take a moment and write down what is your goal. And I just want to remind you that you can always come see me, Mrs. Denny, your 7th grade counselor, and I will be happy to help you with any suggestions or tips or provide resources for you to help you get your grades up. Also, Miss Cook, our 8th grade counselor, 8th graders, come see her. She has great ideas for ways to bring up your grades too. And both of us, we will walk with you this journey. We will help you to bring up your grades and to help you be as successful as you can be. So remember, you've got about a month and a half to bring up your grades. So now is the time to kick it into gear and make that big push to bring up your grades so that you end the semester with grades that you're happy with.